Oh, yes, yes, yes. What up, peeps? Yes, the Triple B. We got a, depending on when you listen to this, we got live coming up soon. But yeah, I wanted to. It's always got to get one video up for the fun. So, now this is about Hughie Fiore. Hughie Fiore. Now he has pulled out, as was rumored anyway, but he's now officially pulled out. Yeah, for the Michael Hunter fight. I'm a bit disappointed with this. I thought Hughie might I thought he would win it. I thought it was I actually had him in an accumulator, Fury on points. But there you go. I mean, it's just he's had a disappointing career. Everyone knows that, Everyone knows that. I mean, he kind of fought at a high level. What, twice? Parker and was it Povetkin? They both beat him on points. Who else is what's his face? Hughie fought. Yeah, I'd forgotten. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's ancient, but he stopped Samuel Peter. Yeah, he stopped Christian Hamer in his last fight, but I don't know, I think there was some kind of injury, wasn't it? Bicep injury, so, that means nothing. He got beaten by Pulev on points. He ironed out Sam Sexton. That's probably his best win. He beat Dominic Gwynn on points. He's got a few half-decent names, but, really, anyone he stepped up with, he lost on points. People always laughing, he's going to get his man strength soon. I mean, how old is he now, 29 or something? 28, I think. It's become an ongoing joke, but he's always seemed to have some kind of illness. Hasn't he had a few of these illness issues when he's pulled out? I feel really weak and strong. And he goes, I've gone to the doctor and I found out it's because my diet. Yeah? And he's come back again saying he's too weak and I don't feel no strength for me. And I went to the doctor and he said I had long COVID. You got to say stuff like that. you get demonetized. I'll probably still get demonetized, but yeah. So he's pulled out. And most people weren't particularly looking forward to it. I kind of was, because I thought it was come on, Hughie, it's time to do something. Michael Hunter is not that great a fighter. What did he beat? He beat Bacoli, right? But Bacoli was just so knackered. I don't think, I think he got beat by Usyk, did he not? Let me just check his record, man. The old days I'd remember everything, all the big fights, but now, man, I can't be bothered. So, yeah, he stopped Michael Hunter stopped Bacoli. I remember that fight. Bacoli was just knackered. He was out of shape. Yeah, so what's Hunter done? He split the decision against Jerry Forrest, who's an okay fight. Povetkin draw. Yeah, Povetkin wasn't he kind of shot by then? Well, that was before the white fight, yeah, but he was still a bit done by then and old, even though he pulled out beautiful shots against Dillian the first time. Yes, who else? Usyk obviously fought Usyk. He got beaten clearly on points. There's no disgrace there, and he got put over in round 12. Well, it wasn't like a clear knockdown, but that's about it. So, Hunter's an okay, above the journeyman level, but only just. I thought Hughie would win this. Again, too big, I know, Hunter's about 220, yeah, and people say, sizes and everything. No, it isn't everything. Of course you eat it, but it's still important to some degree. With the big boys, when there's no limits, right? Hughie is would be about 20 pounds heavier, but I just believed that he would the size would make a difference. He's not a bad boxer. I mean, obviously, I don't think he's exactly the white Muhammad Ali, shades of Muhammad Ali that people claim he is. I can't remember who said that originally. I think it was Mick Hennessy, wasn't it? Fat Mick. Who was his promoter. We saw shades of Muhammad Ali. I mean, yeah, obviously that's just silly, man. But he's a decent boxer, I've always got the feeling that, with Hughie, I've said it before in some old videos, he doesn't really want to fight, yeah? He doesn't want to be in the limelight. He just want to be I told you, he wants to go home, yeah? After a hard day's graft, yeah? Go back, play with the chabbies for a few minutes, right? While the wife prepares his dinner, she would have been making the Irish stew, homemade Irish stew all day, so it was real tender, and beautiful, yeah. And he would sit down at the dinner table, as I said, He wouldn't even kiss the missus hello, you know. That's for that. Travellers don't do that, do they? You know. And then he brings up a huge stew. Would serve Hughie first. He tucks straight into the stew, this gorgeous warming stew, before anyone else had. Then the Chavies get the stew, and the missus just sits there waiting until they finished. She doesn't eat at the table. Yeah. And then, as I said, Hughie, full up with his gorgeous stew, goes, that's the greatest stew I've ever had, love. You're the best woman in all of the Fury family of making stew, and all the Burtons and all the Gormans. You're the best woman. You make the best stew. All right. And then you go out to the woods for about half an hour and do the biggest turd you can imagine, because he's a big man. He eats a lot, man. Come back half an hour later. He wouldn't have a bath or anything. Yeah, the Chavies would have been put to bed. Right. All the washing up would have been done. The wife would have quickly managed to eat some of the stew, but she knew when by the time Hughie came back, she had to be ready. Ready for what? Well, a marital bunk up. She'd be clothes off in the bed, with the legs open. Yeah, Hughie would just take off all his clothes. The light would be off. He'd get on top of her, smash her for probably a few minutes, 5 minutes, bust a nut. They wouldn't exchange any words. None of this modern stuff. None of this foreplay, none of this chatting, none of this lights on, none of looking in the mirror, none of this nonsense. Just a straight old-fashioned bunk up, yeah. And he would smash it for about 5 minutes. He probably wouldn't even make a noise when he busted a nut, because he'd think that was unmanly, totally unmanly. He'd hold it, would be the most he'd make. Bust a nut in her, go, that was super, yeah, that was super, love. And go to sleep. But they'd be happy. That's what Hughie wants out of a guy of life. I really do. A hard day's graft, some Chavies, all sons, by the way, all sons. Yeah? A lovely Irish stew, a big dump in the woods, and then 5 minutes of bunk up. And then back to the routine. You don't need to worry about intellectual stuff and the news and no, man. Simple life, man, old school. So I've always thought that about Hughie. And he's always seems to have had these diseases. I remember he used to have these big zits. People said it was down to like PED abuse. I don't know. One of them burst, I remember, on one of his opponents, and there was blood and pus. It wasn't very nice. But I've always seemed to like Hughie, And they've tried to make him wear flashy suits like Tyson and stuff. And he actually looks all right. It looks kind of cool, doesn't it? Some people say he looks like a large traveller Harry Kane. And it's true, he's got that similar face. I mean, did you know, actually, weirdly, on a tangent, that those punching machines now, they all record punches differently or whatever, recently, Gay J did one. He didn't record that big a punch, and apparently, the Fury would, using his left hand, had a far bigger punch. But every machine is different. But have it all. They do, I don't know, these sports programs, they do it. I mean, they get non-boxers to do it. And out of all the non-boxers I've seen, Harry Kane, that skinny guy, man, could really whack, man. He doesn't look like he'd have a good chin. He got a weak chin and that, but he whacked that thing really hard, man. I was super impressed, So he'd probably be a bit of a chinny puncher, Be one of those guys that either chins you or he gets absolutely flattened himself. But yeah, I always thought he looked a bit like a big Hughie. But Hughie, unfortunately, has not got Harry Kane's punching power. Although he's probably more durable. And of course, I don't know whether Harry Kane's got the fleetness of foot, the movement of Muhammad Ali. But, he's a footballer. Footwork's very important, obviously. Anyway, so, another fight postponed or cancelled in this case. It was expected to be rescheduled. Now I don't know. Maybe I get Hunter to fight someone else who I don't know. It's not as if he's going to be selling tickets, and especially in the UK. There's not going to be loads of people texting each other on their WhatsApp groups and whatnot. Hey, guess what? Michael Hunter's fighting. Should we go? Huh? Who's he fighting? Kamil Sokolowski. Oh, yeah, definitely we need to see that. Something like that. Come on, blood. So I don't know, man. Could you get a Bacoli rematch? I mean, I don't think Bacoli sells much tickets. I mean, I think both of them would expect to be paid over their value, Because we're heavyweights, we're world ranked. I mean, I don't know if they are, but they're probably in the top 30 or something, So, anyway, it's just, another disappointment. I don't know what's happened to Hughie. There is another theory I have about his. I mean, this is long curve. I mean, that sounds like nonsense anyway. I don't. They rolled this out a bit, but to me, you know, I can't talk about these things, but on this channel because it's a boxing channel, you get me. But you know, I don't know, man. I'm very suspicious, and I don't know, man. Maybe the whole thing. I mean, he's always been weak and lacked strength. He says that himself. He's always putting out fights for it, and you know, he used to blame hormonal imbalance and diet, and now it's you know, this thing, the C1 Nana, but the long version, yeah, the long play version of the C1 Nana, blood clot, yeah. But you know, I mean, I don't think. I'm not sure he wants to fight, but number one, number two, right now, everybody's seen in my last few videos. I know when I did it a month ago, right? And I made a number of videos on this. The Peter Fury, Hughie's dad, wants he's a bit bitter that Tyson Fury is such a, you know, major success and heavyweight champion, whereas his son is a disappointment, you know, unfortunately to him, and he wants the heavyweight champion, and so he's hatched a plan because he's Savannah Marshall's trainers. We know now. Savvy is a big girl; she can punch. She's about the only girl who can punch, right? I think she's actually got 11 stoppages out of 13 or something like that. Which is nuts for a woman. Yeah. And, you know, so, you know, Peter's quite bright and, you know, he's not just full of hot air like John Fury, his brother. Yeah? And Peter's obviously mated animals before, you know, on farms and that. And he realised what you do is you get a bull. And what they do on a farm, they'll mate like all the females with the top stud. But, I mean, let's say if you wanted to have a huge animal, a show animal, you know, the perfect specimen. You would get your biggest female, yeah, to mate with the big bull. And Hughie, despite his power issues, is a big lad and he can box. And Savvy has power, so you put them two together, you're going to get a 6'9" heavyweight, hopefully with power, with fleetness of foot like Muhammad Ali, with a good chin. Hughie's definitely got a good chin, big head as well. And what you have is the next great heavyweight champion of the world. And that is what Peters wants. So he's been forcing Hughie to mate with Savvy all the time. You know, like I said, that one of my fans told me, no joke, and I'm still up there, I told you, and it's in the video, that he was staying in a hotel with what was it? Before a fight, and he found he was next to Hugh Fury in Savannah Marshall's room, and he was like, man, I used to, I could hear them at it all the time, and he just came back after the night out to see a man with a cup held to his ear and to the door of Hughie and Savvy's bedroom at 2:15 a.m. and it was Peter Fury listening to make sure he was doing the business. I got to do a t-shirt on this incident, man. But yeah, so, you know, I wonder whether Peter's forcing Hughie, and obviously Hughie, I don't think got any pum before Savvy, so, you know, he's obviously really into it to start off with, but now it's sucked all his manpower out. Yeah? No wonder he's got no strength. He's up at 3 a.m. smashing Savvy on the orders of Peter. You got to get that heavyweight champion, Hughie. We got to make that heavyweight champion. You'll take that wee Savvy, eh? You smash her to pieces and make sure you bust the nuts inside of her. Okay. Oh, yes, Dad. Yes, Dad. Yeah. So this is, I think, you know, the hard training, the fact that he's not really into boxing, and the fact that he's having to mate with Savannah Marshall 5 times a day and can't sleep has sucked away his man strength. And that is why he's had to pull out. You know, we'll see what happens in the future, man. We'll see what happens in the future. Or maybe even like Peter thought, maybe Peter said, listen, man, you're going to have to take a break for yourself, get your strength, yeah, and you know, but we want you back in there smashing Savvy. I mean, Savvy's got a fight, so, you know, maybe the rest will. Well, you know, let's be honest, a woman doesn't. You know, if you think about it, a woman doesn't get knackered after a bunk up, does she? She doesn't do nothing, man. All she does is change position. Yeah. Doggy, missionary, and on top is the only time they move a bit, and it's very different. All they do is they grind a little bit. They usually bust. If you notice, a woman on top is the best position for a woman busting. I don't know if they're busting up, you know what I'm talking about. And, you know, women don't do much in bed. They're not knackered. It's the man who does all the business, you know. He does all this hammering, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, you know, You know, so yeah, I think that's the reality. In my opinion, there's three things going on here. Maybe his body is, and it just never seems to. He's one of those guys. Maybe has a bad immune system, or there's always something wrong with his body, and then obviously his heart's not really in it. Like I said, he wants a simple life. Yeah, graft, stew, dump, bunk up. That's it. Yeah. Or like a bit more. So it's a bit more complicated. It's like graft, stew. Sorry, chavies, stew, turd, bunk up, sleep. That's it. And then, the fact he's been, made to be like a stud bull by Peter, his dad, and smash. There's a lot of pressure on him, smashing Savvy all the time. No one is knackered blood. I remember he had just one girl, yeah. I don't like to talk about this anymore, but, I'll give you it's relevant. So this one girl, yeah, first time I met her, I met on the internet. This is before Tinder. They had Match.com, right? And, I was, I meet this girl, and we talked a lot and stuff. So, it wasn't like the first time. And, I was going to sleep in the sitting room, and I was like, no problem, of course. Anyway, 5 minutes later, woman on her knees, giving the chub be a nos job. I was like, blood clot. And then, I was a fornicator then. Like, now I'm just like, blood clot. You are such a degenerate. Anyway, and then she's like, oh, now I've got something to do. And I was like, oh, well, that was a pretty good conversation, to be honest with you. We were going to have something to eat, but that's cool. Yeah, 25 minutes later, she gave me another nos job. No joke. 20 minutes after that, another nos job. 20 minutes after that, another nos job. That's 4 nos jobs, yeah? In, what's that, about an hour and a half? Yeah? And that, the last one's starting to hurt a bit. 20 minutes later, another nos job just before we go to dinner. Yeah? And by this time it's getting a bit painful, because it's like blood clot. And so even though I didn't do nothing, I'll just sit back. You get me? Whereas Hughie's hammering all the time. Busting a nut 5 times in a short period of time can be quite painful and exhausting, Anyway, that's it. So, yeah, I got to get ready for the live because I'm hoping it'll be a good one. I have to check out the merch shop, blood. Check out the affiliate links I've got in my in my description, and the Cash App and the crypto. I've got one boy give me enough crypto, and 2 guys give me cryptos, actually, but, the R-Man give me, I don't expect people to give me this much money, but he so generously gave me £80 of crypto in a week. That's just nuts. Another boy, my boy, gave me $850. It's going good, but I still only made £200 last month. I'm not moaning, but it's for the fans anyway. The money's a bonus, but yeah, have a look if you want. Have a look. See you later, I hope. As always, God bless you. Yeah, have a lovely week, and peace in the Middle East.